In just 6 days, the advance payments on the child tax credit begin, and there's a lot of information to know before it starts raining down that cash. How will you get your payments? When will you be getting your payments? What if your dependents are different than they were last year? How can you unenroll? And why do people want to unenroll? These are all things that our experts are helping you understand today on Two Wants to Know. They'll be joining us for the next 30 minutes to answer your questions. We've got Scott Braddock from Scott Braddock Financial and J.W. DeGance, the Greensboro District Manager for Jackson Hewitt. Now, this is how you get your questions to our experts. You text those questions. The number is 336-379-5775. Again, this is text only, so please don't call. All right, first and foremost, Scott, let's just talk about why folks are getting this money.
Right, so this is separate from the stimulus. This is a part of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. And so this is typically a child credit that we would receive when we file our taxes. It traditionally is a $2,000 credit. So what's happening is we're getting a part of that in advance, and depending on the age of your child, it could be $1,000 increase to that $2,000 or $1,600. And truly, this is still another attempt to help the families that are out there that are still struggling from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay. All right. So again, this is something that you would normally get at tax time, but they're giving the payments early if you so choose to want to take them. So JW, let's kind of talk about how you get so much money at this point and then so much money at the end and how that works.
Yes. So what will happen is you will actually receive half of the credit over the course of the next 6 months, starting this month, starting in 5 days. 6 days, and then the rest will be reconciled when you file your taxes in 2022. And so for children that are under 6 years old, you'll get $300 a month per child. And then for children that are under the age of 18, that are 6 and above, you'll get $250 per month through the end of the year.
All right, and we're looking at a graphic right now that shows the payment schedule. So it is the 15th of every month except for the month of August, which then it's August the 13th, and that's because the 15th actually falls on a weekend, so they're actually going to give it to you beforehand. But each one of those payments comes on the 15th of each month. And so we're getting a question here. It's asking, how do I add a baby that was born in May? And they're going to let you do that, but it's not up just yet, is it, Scott?
No, it's not up just quite yet, but we will be able to update our information and our status, including those newborn babies. And, you know, the takeaway here is if you have a child born this year, you will receive that enhanced child tax credit.
And so what's going to happen is there is a timeline of portals of when they're going to have each different thing done. And they're just not quite yet ready for that portal that will allow you to put in your brand new dependents for this year. But that will indeed happen. All right, so let's take a look at the payments when it comes to deposits. So JW, the majority of people are going to get this payment through direct deposit.
Correct, yes. The IRS will be using direct deposit as a way to do this, as long as they have that direct deposit information on hand. For those that they do not have direct deposit information from their tax return, either from 2019 or 2020, they will actually be mailing a check to those individuals.
Okay. All right, let's take a look, because this person just asked, if your child is not in school, do you still get checks if they're in daycare? So kind of let's go over again how old the child is and what the payment is going to be. Scott?
Sure. So if your child is 5 or younger, the payment is going to be $300. The total credit for that family is going to be $3,600 that they'd be entitled to. And if the child is 6 to 17, they're going to receive $250. And that is regardless of whether or not they're in daycare. Now, there is a benefit for children that are 18 or 19 to 24 that are full-time college students. It's less, it's $500, but it's still available.
All right, and so that is not part of these monthly payments. Let's look, because we do have a graphic about total money that you will get, so that you'll be able to kind of put the numbers with also the ages, and you'll be able to see it very clearly. Again, any child under the age of 6 is $3,600 for the total tax credit. 6 to 17 years old is $3,000. And the way that that breaks down month to month is either $300 per month or $250 per month. And JW, let's clear this up. This is per child.
Absolutely. Yes, it is. So it is per child. It's per child that you claim on your tax return. Remember, they're using the tax return as the information to send you this money. And so that's where they're basing it off of 2019 or 2020 return.
All right, and this person is asking this question. Would it be beneficial for me to opt out of the payments monthly and wait until I file my taxes?
Well, that really depends. If, a lot of folks are really used to that credit being a refund amount that they receive as a lump sum. And so folks would prefer that versus receiving those payments earlier. And then also folks know that their situation has changed, and ultimately they don't want to have to be responsible for paying back that money.
All right, JW, do you have a thought on this one as well?
I completely agree with Scott, exactly what he said. It really just depends on the unique situation of the taxpayer. Some like to receive a large refund, and that might be best for them. But this could come at a time that could be very helpful for many taxpayers over the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm. But if you are on one of those like income thresholds that's a little bit higher, would it be smart to not take these payments and unenroll just so that you know for sure you're not going to have to pay any money back?
It could definitely help those individuals who feel like they're actually near those thresholds because of the phase out, and that could be beneficial.
All right, and do we know on hand like what those thresholds are, or do we need a time during the break to be looking at that?
I know it's $150,000 for filing jointly or qualifying widows. It's I believe it's $75,000 for single taxpayers, and then $112,500 I believe for a head of household.
Great. Okay, so we do have those thresholds there for you. All right, we are going to continue to take your text questions. We'll be right back.